Meanwhile, in Afghanistan, things are going from bad to worse. It was always clear that the American troop withdrawal would lead to a churn. But I doubt anyone was prepared for such a swift descent into chaos. We're witnessing a rerun of the 1990s. The Taliban is making huge strides. They've besieged important districts. They're close to controlling entire provinces. Their latest target is Kandahar. It is one of Afghanistan's most important and strategic provinces. This is where it's located, right along the border. It shares its boundary with Pakistan's Balochistan province, which is why it should come as no surprise that Kandahar is where the Taliban was born. It's their former stronghold. And now they're all set to regain control. The Taliban has captured a key district, the district of Panjwai, located in southwest Kandahar. This happened on Sunday after fierce nighttime fighting with Afghan government forces. Why is this significant? Because this is the birthplace of the current Taliban leader, Hibatullah Akhundzada. As the Taliban move in, hundreds of families are fleeing their homes in Panjwai. They say they fear for their lives.
Where should we go? Our children are sitting inside the car in this hot weather. The soldiers told us not to go to this side of the city, but we ignored them. Then the Taliban shot at us from the mountains. Our security forces are sitting next to the road, but they're firing from the mountains. The Taliban don't want peace. The Taliban want the whole government. They are only killing.
The return of the Taliban spells doom, an end to basic freedoms and lifestyles. The last time the Taliban was in power, it outlawed dozens of harmless activities like flying kites, getting a fancy haircut, playing music, dancing. The people of Panjwai fear a return of these bans.
I'm
100% sure that it will be like before. Again, women will be in burqa and young people will not be free to do what they want to do.
If, like in the past, girls are put in cages, their goals are trampled, their wishes and dreams are ignored, then I think life would be meaningless.
If the Taliban come back, we are afraid that the past will be repeated. We do not want that period to be repeated. If this happens, we will leave this country.
An exodus has clearly begun, and it is not limited to the civilians. In Afghanistan's Badakhshan province, Taliban fighters and terrorists advancing towards the border, and Afghan troops are fleeing, some of them without putting up a fight. More than 1,000 military personnel have crossed the border into Tajikistan. According to Tajikistan's State Committee for National Security, a total of 1,037 Afghan troops have entered their country. It is said, and I'm quoting, taking into account the principle of good neighborliness and adhering to the position of non-interference, the military personnel of Afghan government forces were allowed to enter Tajik territory. So citizens are leaving their homes behind, and troops are fleeing to other countries. It's an emergency-like situation for the Afghan government. They need to step up with a counter-offensive as soon as possible. Look at this map. The Taliban now controls roughly a third of Afghanistan. There are more than 400 districts, 100 under total control of the Taliban, 88 others under partial control. They are expanding at an alarming pace. At least 9 districts have been captured in the last 24 hours alone, 6 of them in the Badakhshan province, and 1 each in Kandahar, Paktika and Takhar. All of these provinces are located on Afghanistan's borders. This onslaught is more than an internal threat. This will soon become a threat for the entire region. The question then is, how is the Taliban pulling all of this off? Washington made tall claims of having crippled the group, of having restricted its dominance and funds. Well, turns out the group is stronger than ever. Do you know the Taliban's operational budget last year? $1.6 billion, $1.6 billion. That's a lot of money to have, especially for a terror group. Where is it coming from? It's a long list. It begins with drugs. According to the UN World Drug Report, Afghanistan accounted for approximately 84% of global opium production by the end of 2020, and a bulk of this illicit drug profit goes to the Taliban. How much money are we talking about? Anywhere between $100 to $400 million every year. And these are the estimates from 2018. The second source of money is mining, digging out resources like iron, copper and gold. The mining industry in Afghanistan is worth at least $1 billion. 75% of these mining sites are under Taliban control. This is according to the Afghan government's own data. The third source of income, extortion and taxes. Rich Afghans living in Taliban territories are forced to pay ransom. Those who wish to travel, communicate, open new businesses, they all have to pay bribes in the form of taxes. A 2018 report revealed the group was earning $2 million a year by billing electricity consumers alone. And the fourth source of money is charity. The Taliban receives covert financial contributions from private donors across the world. Just last month, there were reports on how donations to the Taliban had soared in Pakistan. Ever since America announced its troop withdrawal, small shopkeepers in Balochistan were cumulatively paying $50 to $70 every week. One can only imagine how much the gang lords and religious bodies pay. The bottom line is this: the Taliban is back and it is getting stronger by the day. The threat of another civil war cannot be ruled out, and when that happens, the consequences will be disastrous for all of Afghanistan's neighbors. As Americans, who promised to liberate Afghans from the shackles of extremism, wash their hands of all responsibility and celebrate independence back home. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.